I promised some people to review this plugin called The Strip by Phil Speiser. I'm going to fire up an old track that I didn't hear or touch for a couple of weeks, months. That should give me a fresh start. My first thoughts are this bass is a little bit nasal. So I go to my bass, it's a Pigment's VST plugin with a stereo imager on it and a sidechain. Put the strip on top of that. See, it automatically lowers the volume of your bass. If I bypass it, that's because the strip needs to know what signal is coming in. It's a bass, synth bass, and now we have to make it listen to the output. Okay. As you can hear, my bass is way lower than it was in volume. So I'm gonna put this one on center because we don't want to pan it, we just want to okay, let's see if the balance equalizer suggests anything. We want this line to be as straight as possible, so I'm gonna open these up a bit. This one lower. This one's way too high, apparently. More or less, add some volume. Okay, let's keep that bass for what it is. I do have vocal in here. You want tomorrow, I need right now. You want me when the time's out. Add the strip. I'm gonna tell him it's a vocal lead, female vocal lead. Listen. You want tomorrow, I need right now. You want me when the time's out. You're the rocket on the line. He's compressing it a little bit. He has the multi-band going on. Check the balance equalizer. We drew this line a bit more even. Now we lost some volume, so I'm gonna crank that up. You want tomorrow, I need right now. You want. Maybe we're at this point where we changed enough to solve the initial problems with the mix. We've been sinking in the which leads us to the mix bus. Add the strip on my mix bus. Okay, there we go. It's lower in volume again, but I'm gonna make it listen to it and tell it it's a mix bus. Listen to it.
it warns me that my signal is clipping. Input signal is clipping. And that's where the strip actually forces you to gain stage your mix. So what Phil wants you to do is select all your tracks, lower them by like 4 dB, and that's why I think having the strip running on your mix bus while creating your mix is very interesting. It really makes sure that you keep your headroom and that you don't start like pushing all your meters. Turn everything down. So I want it to be a little louder. This mix bus doesn't call for compression for technical reasons. Okay, fair. Now we want to see if our balance EQ is telling us something. This looks pretty straight. Now let's go to see the metering on this thing. Okay, that's low. I'm going to turn off this compressor and I'm gonna put a TRX1 on it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna add a metering too. I'm gonna keep this open. I'm gonna put everything so it doesn't interfere too much with the sound. You want tomorrow, I need right now. You want me when the time's out. You're the rock and I'm the lighthouse. We've been sinking in the mayhem. In a storm you've been created. Okay, this is more or less a clean loudness. But if we want to compare what we are doing with and without the strip, I should put this at 0 dB. So if we bypass it, there won't be too much difference, no difference in volume here. Oh, okay. You want me when the time's out. You're the rock and I'm the lighthouse. Yeah, so if I bypass it, we have an increase of volume. So maybe it should be at 12 dB. Let's see. You want to I need right now. You want me when okay, he decided the plugin decided to put reverb and delay on it. Oh, and that's what was causing this. Right now. The reverb and the delay is causing some weird glitches, so I'm gonna keep those off. Lights out. You want tomorrow, I need right now. You want me when the time's out. This looks flat enough. It's loud enough. Lighthouse. We've been sinking in the mayhem. Yeah, it's loud, but we have some dynamic range, enough for the genre. I'm gonna export it. Lights out, remix the strip. One thing I have noticed with this balance EQ, the strip tells me that I have a little bit too much bass going. So you should be tempted to lower this bar a little bit, but it's funny that if we upload the output we just generated with a balance EQ that said we were a little high on bass, if we upload that to Mixcheck Studio, another AI based analyzer, they tell us we are low on bass. So I guess the truth will be somewhere in the middle. You should have a little too much on the strip, because I did some mixes with the strip and they were a little low on bass, even though it suggested it was a little high on bass. So that's something you should keep in mind. And then there was the question, someone asked me, is this thing worth $99? It all depends. You don't buy anything new. Actually, most of these things are in your DAW already. I mean, a corrective equalizer is just an equalizer, you know, a multiband compressor, reverb, we have this already, delay, we have this auto pan. We have already enough of these things, standard in Reason or FL Studio. Or at the other hand, it's fair to say that this plugin helps you to understand your mix better. Definitely. It shows you where your muddiness is or your harshness. That's pretty awesome. It forces you to gain stage your mix. That's a good thing. And I think it really gives you insights. That's for sure. The smoothing, I like this function because it's very straightforward and the standard settings are just fine. You can solo it out, which is nice. The only thing is that there's no transparency on the compressor settings. You don't know the attack, the release, the threshold. It's just not transparent. It does a good job at compressing. It sounds clear, but you don't know what's going on. And if they would ever update this plugin and change some settings there, which could render your entire track compressed completely different. So now the thing everyone's talking about is this AI. Should I put HPF on my bass, and if so, what frequency should it be set at? This AI doesn't give you a second opinion on your track. It just helps you out. Okay, so yes, it suggests I could do that and put it around 20 Hertz, which is the low cut setting. There's an answer here. It gets its information just like ChatGPT. So how does this mix sound? If you ask a more subjective question, like what does this mix sound like, he cannot answer that. I have the ability to listen and analyze audio, but you have to use your own judgment to hear if this mix is good or not, which makes sense. So my final verdict, if you have $99 to spend, I think you should try it. There's no trial version, so you have to buy it. I did. I tried it, and it did not revolutionize the way I mix, but it sure helps you to have a second opinion on what's going on. Sometimes your ears are tired and you can't rely on what you're hearing anymore, and this one is a good visual aid. Just throws in some, hey, did you try this stuff? So I have this VST for a month now, and I can say I already used it in every track.
You want tomorrow.